Rightio tubers, third time lucky, fourth, fifth, I don't know. Restarted everything, rebooted everything, and we're going to see if this actually works. Well, it kind of worked. I got a screen on the... Nah, it's gone again. Buffering. What is going on with the Australian internet? This is not good enough. Ah, far out. I might end up having to shuck cells all alone, which will be terrible. This, oh, we got one working. Should have turned off. Got the notification, but no Pete. Gah! Isn't it like 4 AM here? No, it is 6 AM. Can anybody see any? Is it coming up on the screen? Can you see my ugly mug? We've got 5 viewers, so it must be working to a certain degree. It's not playing here, and it's saying it's poor health. I haven't dropped any frames though yet. We see you. Well, that's good enough for me then. I'm just going to close that down so I can see if I can save some bandwidth somehow. Why are you up at 6 AM? It's 6 AM. I've been up for 2 hours trying to work out how I can do this live stream better. Messing around with settings, and I tried to, what is it? There's another program that someone else recommended to me the other day. And I've been trying desperately to try and work out how that actually works. Streamlabs, Stream Deck, Stream. There's another Stream thing, but StreamYard, which will allow me to have a couple extra people in the room having a chat, which is kind of cool. I like the idea. I just couldn't get my head around it that early in the morning, given that I was messing around, trying to clean up my shed and stuff like that. It's saying it's red again. That is really shit. Come on. I should just give up and go home. This is terrible. None of my kids are on. This is, well, apart from that computer there and the NUC, there's nothing on the internet. Which means it's Sunday morning at 6 AM. So why the hell wouldn't I have fast internet? Ah, damn it. What do you recommend, a balancer or BMS for a 14S 120p? Well, you'd want a BMS. With that much potential energy, a BMS is a must. A balancer doesn't do anything for safety other than balance the cells. How do you know when those balancer fails? Well, you don't know it's working. Chris Hill says heat. Off-grid wannabe. It's Friday 4 PM here in Canada. Slow web equals heater. Nah, I just think it's shit. It's not even slow, it's just terrible. Anyways, how do I share this? I am using Streamlabs OBS, so it's a new version of OBS. So this is new to me. I don't even know how it's actually working on the tubes or how to share it or anything like that. But down below, I've added a few more links. I've got another new t-shirt. I've changed the colors and stuff a little bit due to client, you guys, suggestions. Oh, here we go. Now the chat just kicked in. Hi, love your vids. Thank you very much for tuning in, brother. Chaplains, I want to buy 3,586.50 battery to make a camera charger. That is one hell of a camera charger. Probably go and see Tom from, what is it? I can't even remember his name. I'll get it later. It depends on where you live in the world too. And you're going to buy new cells or used cells? Do you expect price drops from Batrium? I still think their stuff is a bit overpriced, $90 for the expansion board. DRC, I can guarantee you the price will go up because of the Australian dollar. It's not that... Whoops. Can't go down when the Aussie dollar's going to the shit house. Well, what else can we do? $90 for the expansion board. I need to get more snippies. The blue ones you recommended are nice. They are awesome. I've got to buy some more again. Well, I bought some more, but they cancelled my order for some reason. So, but these are still working, but the blue ones are good. And the springs on them are good. I just broke the tips being a dick, which is like completely allowed. Message is held for please sub my channel as well. I only get a few views. The algorithm hates me. Show, there we go. It's not so much the algorithm that hates you. It is, it's a combination of everything, right? Here, if you want to have a look at the algorithm, wait a minute, I can, if I get that bigger. Oh, that's such horrendous quality. You're never going to be able to see that. I went through the other day on my YouTube, left screen. There we go. I don't know if you can actually see that or read that. Can you read that? Let me know if you can read that. But that is, I went through and found sort of around March 2015, I monetized my YouTube channel. I was very excited to do that until, like, you know, the first 4 months, and I realized you don't earn very much money. Early days. I can't complain now. It's like $10 a day these days. But back in the day, it was like, I'll read this out because you probably can't see it. So March, we'll just say March 2015, I made 61 cents. That's a whole 61 cents, folks. Rightio. And then April, I made, and this is compounding because you can't take it out until you go over $100. So it sort of compounds up and adds together until we get to a certain stage. So it went to $1.17. The next month, May, it went to $3.07. And there's no way you can read this. It's such shit quality. June, it went to $3.30. July, it went to $13. So I went up by $10. August, I went to $13. September, I went to $22. October went to $30. November, $41. December, $52. January, $64. February, $83. March, $95. So in an entire year, I made $95.63. And I need one of those Streamlab things with the buttons so I can change it backwards and forwards. I'm going to get one of those eventually. I got the link in the description below if you want to have a look. It is affiliated. Shh. I'm going to shill some products to make some more cash. And then April, it went to $123. And then I don't know what happened, but then May, it jumped to $274. That must have been when Jehu advertised me or something and it jumped up. So that's the first year and a half of me on YouTube. I made $274.67. And then after that, I started to, it started to go up then. At that point, I think I was drawing $100 out every month, which was kind of neat. I did actually, that made me smile, if I should be honest. Battery hookup, that's the one. I should put an affiliated link down below, but if you're going to buy some cells, let me know. I make 10% from battery hookup on sales, which is kind of neat. Hello, Peter. I speak from Brazil. Polyvoltaic Energy Channel. Welcome. Just remember to go to channel. I don't know if I can go to channel. I can go to channel. Polyvoltaic. That looks pretty cool. Big wind turbine. But your channel doesn't have any content. You just wasted my time, brother. No, it's all good. Where are we up to? And as a side note, I haven't started shucking any cells yet, but at least we've been online for 20 minutes, 10 minutes. And my dog's sitting beside me wanting breakfast, but it's 2 hours early. Can you suggest a website to buy 35 milliamp? No, not really. AliExpress, I guess. I found Chinese 18650 29 milliamp hours for cheap. What do you reckon? Good or fake? I don't know. Multi-powers. What price are they? 2900 milliamp hours. You'd want to be paying at least $3 or $4 each for them to be genuine, I reckon. If not more, if not a lot more. So what you're saying now is the time for the US for us to buy stuff from Australia. Yeah, that's what the economics of it all says. In fact, I've been leaving, like, there's two things that I get paid in American dollars, and I've just been leaving. I've left it in there for probably 13 months. So it just keeps going up and up. And hopefully once the price of the US and Aussie dollar goes completely to shit, I'll draw all that money out and I might make an extra 10%. What's up, hanging out with ya? Welcome, Dan. Do you think global supply will diminish as laptops become smaller and produce pouch cells? Tesla is moving to 21. The Second Life storage community will evolve, DRC, and we have heaps of time for it to evolve because there is probably in the trillions of laptops out there with 18650 cells still in it. There's not going to be, it's going to diminish, but I think it's going to diminish faster just because there's heaps of people doing it and looking for these cells. So it's going to look like it's diminishing faster than it really is. The actual rate of diminishment is meh. He's probably going to take another 5 years before it starts doing that. And by that time, the EV market is just going to go to the moon and it's just going to evolve. We're going to have different cells. And I mean, even Tom Ammerman, you can see how his cells and chain, like his recycling is changing and growing and evolving. So, I can't even monetize my content, not enough views and subs. I was lucky. Back in the day, I was I didn't have to wait for all those changes. But my second channel, my battery hasher channel, that I put absolutely no effort into at all, because I can't monetize it, is that's like got 350 subscribers, and I'll never be able to monetize that, I don't think. So, have you had any issues with your energy supply or network operator? Are you grid tied? No, I've never had any trouble with my energy supplier. Back in the day, I had 2 days. One day on YouTube, 90% of all views went to Solar City. In one day, 90% of the watch time, went to Solar City's domain. So I assume Solar City, aka Tesla, at the time, they'd just bought it. They must have gone through my whole channel and just seen what I was doing. I don't know how it works, or maybe a couple of kids in the lunchroom were just stealing the office Wi-Fi. I don't know how that works. But coincidentally enough, Energy Australia, the next day, accounted for, I'm trying to get comfortable here, accounted for about 70% of my watch time in one day. I panicked like crazy. I thought I was in all of this. I thought I was in just this enormous amount of trouble. And a lot of this isn't really public because I was pretty nervous at the time, and I actually shit canned my YouTube channel for a few days. I just took it all offline, and about a week later, someone showed up saying that they needed to check it. They walked in, they gave it a quick once over, and of course, both of my batteries are in sheds, and those sheds always remain locked unless I'm working down there. And because they're in a locked shed back in the day, and the rules have changed now, it reduced what I'd done. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. I wasn't using any illegal grid ties or anything like that. So I didn't get didn't get in trouble, so to speak. But there were words and recommendations even. I don't think I've ever said this on camera. And then at least 4 occasions I've had electricians or something show up wanting to shut me down just because they thought it was illegal or something. They had got the wrong impression. I let them in. I showed them what I'd done and stuff like that, and they had no choice. They had to leave. They're not a leg to stand on, basically. And this was all probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I haven't had any trouble since. I really go to the ends of the earth, so to speak, with that setup that's connected to do it right. And I keep saying this, the rules have changed now, but because mine's already existing, I believe I come under the old rules, not the new rules. But I want to move forward and improve what I'm doing. Now, I've got a grid-tied system and an off-grid system, which is the thing that saved me. The two don't cross over at all. There's no grid connection, I guess, with my off-grid side. So that's a long way of answering that question, but I hope that answers that question. Where can I buy a crimping tool and cable ends? I saw a link somewhere. I think you shared it on Facebook somewhere. Have a look below, buddy. Sorry, I can't. It ends with Tony. Zelly Tony. Have a look in the link below. There is a kit. So kit.com/HBPowerwall. There's a big store there with a whole heap of my tools and crimpers and Pharrells and all that sort of stuff. It's sort of organised. You can click all the links there, and then if one of the links isn't active, please do reach out and let me know. And then if it's not there, you can just Google it or whatever, I guess. Don't do YouTube if you want money. Off-grid wannabe. That comment is quite true, and in the same token, quite false. I don't lose money from doing YouTube. And in fact, what I was considering doing was I was going to do a live feed every day for 30 days. But what I was planning on doing was showing the back end of my YouTube channel, showing income, showing clicks, views, watch time, show absolutely everything with my YouTube channel, complete and utter transparency, and take that probably a step further to, and this is for 30 days, how much I earn from t-shirts sales, affiliate sales, and all that sort of stuff. So I give people a back end view of YouTubers. But moreover, what I was thinking, and it's really hard to do 30 live feeds, because remember back in the day I did 10 live feeds in 10 days, and that was really, really good for my channel. There was definite upward curve. I earned more money, I had more viewers, I had more subscribers. But the algorithm evolves, doesn't it? So, I haven't seen, sorry, I'm just jumping through the chat. I have never ever seen any or heard of anybody being kicked off YouTube for showing their back end. There is, I've done a lot of research on that, and I've never seen anybody be booted for showing the back end of YouTube, and there's nothing that I can find that says I will be. So, but on that, thank you very much. That's gonna I'll have to revisit that again, because I haven't, like, the last live feed I did it, but I think it might be a really good insight. And let's face it, I have enough cells here to shuck every morning for 30 days at the moment, if I do maybe 20 or 30 packs a day. So what do you reckon about that idea? Dumb, good, stupid? And on that note, I should start pulling some cells apart, and you guys need to tell me what's going on that I don't know about within the community. I'm actually making one of those Streamlab things. You could collect more beer cans at the with the same time invested. I often say, off-grid wannabe, I often say that I would have been better off working at McDonald's at minimum wage than doing YouTube. Don't quote me, but since what was that date? Since early 2015. Yeah, since early 2015, and we're 4 years in. I think I've done either 14,000 Australian dollars or 17,000. I think it's $14,000 Australian dollars. I've earned from YouTube in 4 years, 4.5 years, almost 5 years. 4.5. We'll go 4.5. My maths isn't good. We know this. So, I mean, and some of these videos I edit take me an entire week to edit one video. You know, I'd earn more money going to McDonald's working in a week than I would ever earn on that video that I made. Custom PCB and 3D holders. Hi from Denmark. Johnny, thank you. Welcome. Hi from Norway. Clean desk today. Yes, I have been cleaning up. I got so many jobs done this week. I absolutely... This is... Excuse me, while Pete almost dies on camera. I got so much work done this week. It was insane. I've got the process to doing HDMI ports on PlayStation 4 down to under half an hour, which is freaking awesome. From turning the console on, testing the HDMI port, to replacing the HDMI port, stripping it all down, reassembling it, and then testing it, and then doing final assembly, under half an hour per console. So that was pretty freaking cool. Once I changed my process just a little bit, and started breaking down what I was doing, and then looking at the steps I didn't need to take. And I think on each job there was 6 screws I didn't need to take out that I was taking out every time. There was one cable. There's a few little things that I did to speed up the process, and the actual process of replacing the HDMI port, I changed the head on my rework station to a much finer head and turned the temperature up to 600 degrees, and it was so fast, like 40 seconds to remove the HDMI port, probably maybe 5 minutes to clean up the board and stuff and get some flux on it and some fresh solder, and then another maybe 2 or 3 minutes to line it all up and solder individual pins and test them, put it back together again, and done. So yeah, I've done a lot this week. Cleaning up was basically just this morning. I've been, like I said before, I've been out here for about 2 hours this morning already, trying to clean up and getting bait trim happening on 2 screens for 2 different Watchmons and stuff, because I have to do, that is just as much a YouTube set as it is I need to do a video later, and both of them have relevant information that I'll need. Basically, I still want to go down and do I want to try and charge this battery to 4.2 volts and do like a what do you call it? A discharge test again, because I got 38 kilowatt hours last time, and I would really like. What's wrong, Sook Dog? Come here. My dog's crying. She's getting old. She's 15 years old, so. The only thing I hate about patting dogs is that smell you get on your hands, the dog smell. Probably be reduced by giving her a bath once every year, but we don't. We have, what was I doing? I got distracted by the dog. So we've still got this cell down this end, 55. About a week and a half ago, that was charged all the way up to maximum charge, it was balanced. And there's, 122 amp hours out of that battery last night, so there's a decent amount of power out of it. But it's just hurting. So I want to do a full test of my batteries, which means charging them up. And charging them up takes a little bit of time because my chargers only go to 4.18 volts, and I want to take it to 4.2 volts. And to do that, I've got to use an IMAX charger or something like that, or the IDST and the X6, and charge them all up manually one by one and balance them all up. So I'd like to do that just to see capacity of my battery, and then obviously I'll take out that 55 cell, break it down, and then work out why it's dropping, because it doesn't seem to be dropping. It just doesn't seem to be charging, which gives me the thought that it's internal resistance or something of the battery. It just can't get the energy back into the cell as efficiently as it can all the other cells. The Smooth Goat, what's up, my Dwang from down under? Is that even a thing anymore? Dwang? What's up from the UK? John, welcome. The Smooth Goat. What else we got? How can I compete with a service that go around picking recycled batteries like Home Depot and local truck packs? Dan, there's a guy up in Toowoomba that I sold some cells to in the very early days, or gave away. So I can't remember what I did. I probably sold them. And he started in Toowoomba. He started up his own recycling scheme, had cardboard boxes made up, registered a business, and that's how we got all these cells. And it turned from, I don't know how big he is now. I've got him in my phone. It's Batteries Toowoomba or something. He literally started his own recycling company, working with all these bigger shops and stuff. So maybe that's an option. A man's home is his castle. Tell them all to get stuffed. That's a valid comment. I'd be careful about showing the back end of YouTube. Okay, there we go. We've read that one. Can you get your own system live data online? I got a link if so. Chris Hill. There are some things that I must look at the camera, pretend not to lie, and lie. No, I haven't got anything like that I can share. More on that later. Good evening, Scullid YouTube. Welcome, my friend. Yes, Pete, you are special. Not many like you. Absolutely no doubt in my mind. What the hell was that? Chris Hill, in the UK, there is a lot going on with non-DIY Powerwalls with rules, regs, red tape, mainly to do with the grid tie inverters and anti-eyelessing. There's rules everywhere, Chris. You just got to jump through the hoops. There are some recommending that you don't care about those rules or those regulations and stuff like that. But I genuinely think the people that don't care about those rules and openly say that they don't care about compliance and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I get it. There's some people out there that just simply can't afford to do it right. I'm not stupid. There's people, in this world that have no other choice. But I think the people that do have a choice really should be doing a better job of it and trying to promote a safer way of doing DIY power walls, a better way of doing it. But I guess they're the people that will truly bring the community down. And on that downer, I'm going to put some gloves on and start shucking some cells. So, entertain the hell out of me. Let's do this. Solar wind as a hobby, it keeps you out of trouble with Mama Bear. Yeah. This was a few years ago for sure, but when stupid apocalypse nonsense that everyone went insane over, they were showing the problem and stuff along those lines. I don't know what you're talking about there. Have India landed on the moon? I have absolutely no idea, but I would assume that they have the capability of doing so. I need a rubbish bin that's closer. I'm from Jamaica. Where are you guys from? I am from Brisbane, Australia. Oh yeah, that's 6 cells liberated. Ow, I need new gloves. Anybody got any gloves recommendations? I think... that hurts. I think the last time I did this, I actually hurt my wrists twisting these packs open. I might have to do the two lumps of wood idea, but this bench simply isn't strong enough to twist them open. It'll either lift it off the ground or break. I'm from Jacob. Hey, from the US, 500 out of 1400 cells processed for my 100 P14S build. Good job, Owen. The Smoothgate. Hey Pete, what's the capacity of those 14X setup behind you? So that's about 160 amp hours at 48 volt. That one doesn't get used very much. It has, because I was doing a Tesla battery video. That battery doesn't get used very much, and I don't have the available dollars to put an inverter on it yet. I was going to go a 5 kilowatt MPP solar inverter because, let's face it, I like their gear, and it is something that is cost effective, I guess. But then I started to think, well, maybe I need to upgrade my inverters down there and to a different type of inverter, maybe a hybrid inverter, like a CEC approved hybrid inverter, and bring one of those pips up here. I don't know. Those pips down there are just running really, really well. And with the longer days in Brisbane, in Australia, the batteries are charged by, 12 o'clock every day. So they're getting a heap of charge, and I'm wasting a lot of energy. So I either need hot water, which is problematic because I don't need hot water in summer. In winter, the batteries weren't even charging properly, so I don't know what's going on there. I think I didn't change the angle of the panels and whatever else. This dog's going to drive me crazy. I should have fed her before. She thinks just because I'm out here, she needs to be fed, but I try and do it on a time as opposed to when she's hungry. Try and do it at the same time, exactly the same time of day every day, about 8 o'clock in the morning. Rubber mallet, Pete. Nah, yeah, just whacking them on the floor works. That's cool. You have Batrium. I wouldn't be without my Batrium. I've said this lots of times before. It's not because I'm shilling their products, because I don't make anything from telling you how much I love them. It's peace of mind for me. So, and it's good YouTube content as well, which helps. Which really helps. Solar and Windows a hobby. You're gonna slice yourself up like that. Ouch. I haven't yet. I hardly cut myself at all these days. here how my live data is working on my Power Vault. You got a link there for me, dude? HP Powerwall. See how that's got HP Powerwall there? I put it in the. I think I put it in the description below. If you want to do that, so you get my attention, you do the little @ symbol and then my name, and then that tags me. Or you can do it to anybody else too. If you want to have a little side chat, you can just do the little @ symbol. So, or you can do a super chat, but nah, super chat YouTube takes 30% of that. Oh, and there goes another cell. Remember a few weeks ago when Ed gave me $300 in a live feed? Yeah, that was a mistake. He was meant to put $3 and put $300 in, but he tried for about a month or more to get that money back through PayPal, but there's no refund pathway, so he couldn't get his money back. So that $300, by the time I got it, and I have already been paid that $300, it was minus $90 in fees. So out of 300, I got 210. So I basically turned around and PayPal'd Ed back that 210, which is what I got, and he lost $90. So when you're doing super chat on any channel, please be careful, or just use PayPal. I would strongly recommend you use PayPal, not the super chat. So you can give like 30% less and still give me the same amount of money. So there you go. Ripping through these quite quick, actually. Greetings from Denmark. How many times have you made a short circuit when breaking batteries? Hardly ever. Because let's face it, it's pretty quick to quell. And these cells are really easy to pull apart. Really, really easy. I have probably maybe 30, maybe 40 randoms down there that are going to be really hard to undo. And I keep, putting them off. But these ones don't tend to short circuit. I have short circuited them heaps of times, don't get me wrong. Never really had smoke, so to speak. I've had a puff, but never anything horrendous. And it's usually just when you're twisting the cells apart, you put the nickel strip through the positive and touch the negative. That's about the only time it sparks and stuff when you're doing this process. But if you've been doing it long enough, if it starts sparking, you just move it. You just move the entire pack, twist it back, so to speak, and it's better again. I haven't got my surveillance cameras on, so I don't know if my wife is awake or not yet. I'm gathering my kids are, because my dog's barking at them. Nah. Can't see the door sliding open. Hit the pack on the rubber. That's an interesting way around. There you go. All out. Thank you very much for the $2, and that's how the super chat works. It's not Sunday. Well, it's here in Australia, and that's all that counts, brother. Shit, internet speed and all. Not Sunday. Do you need more cells, Pete? Also, it's Saturday, not Sunday. Did I put Sunday on the thing, on the livey thing? Not that it really matters. Nobody's going to care tomorrow anyway. You got hit the. I like the rubber. I like hitting it on the rubber. That is a genius way of misusing a hammer. Where am I up to? Can you hook up an MPP in parallel with microgrid ties and kind of get it working? No, you can't. The problem, well, it's not even a problem. It's just, oh no, there goes another cell. If you feed 240 volt into a, I'm not gonna have a choice. I'm gonna have to go and feed this dog. If you feed 240 volt into the output side of a PIP, it blows up. And it doesn't just blow up, it blows up instantly, and you've got to replace the entire motherboard. There is very well documented cases of that happening, and then people blaming MPP solar and all that sort of stuff. The reality of it is, if you had to read the instructions, you'd know not to do it. Good old instructions, hey? Who would ever blame them for doing something wrong? Rightio. What are we up to? Super VK, thank you very much for the 20. I don't know what that is, but I know that's, is that, I don't even know what currency that is, but thank you very much. It is much appreciated. Micro invite. Okay. Do you really need more cells, Pete? Also, it's Saturday, not Sunday. Yes, I do need more cells because I want to build another battery. So do live chats pay better than uploads? No, they do not. The only reason I really make more than maybe $2 on a live feed is because you guys donate money and whatever else. I don't do live feeds for money. I do live feeds because I actually like hanging out with the community and having a chat. And to be in the privileged position to be able to chat and work at the same time, yeah, I'm kind of grateful for that. I don't think I would do this much. I would never do this much work if it wasn't for YouTube. It would be boring as all get out. So I hope that answers that question, Off-Grid Wannabe. If you have a look on my Facebook page, HP Powell on Facebook, I actually shared a photograph of one of my live feeds the other day. I made like $4, I think, for a 2.5 hour live feed. So that was the income I'd made after several days on one live feed, just from YouTube. And I lost 15 subscribers and I had shit watch time. So if you ever want to go out and support YouTube channels and stuff like that, like especially struggling YouTube channels, like newbies, always watch the entire video all the way through. That helps us. Interact with the video, any video, I'm not just talking about mine, I'm talking about anybody on YouTube. Interacting with the video is key. In our analytics and stuff like that, we can see where somebody or a bunch of people pause the video, go back and watch that bit again. And myself and others, lots of others, put in a little blip of a funny clip or something like that, like I don't maths for 1 second, just so people go, what was that? And then they rewind it and replay it, because we actually make more money for doing that than we will if you just watch the entire video through. And then of course you've got the like, rate and subscribe or whatever it is, because if you subscribe on that particular video, it gives YouTube thinks it's more important. If you comment, you're being interactive and things like that. And then if you like or dislike it, you've also interacted with the video. I'm not sure it has any difference between liking and disliking. I used to lose sleep over the dislikes, but now I know that the YouTube algorithm shows somebody a video and they don't like it. And they genuinely don't like it because they don't give a shit about the community or the content. Just YouTube showed the video. So it's sometimes not a reflection on how you're doing with the video. It's a reflection on, yeah, I don't like it, see ya. So you don't lose sleep over that. If you're an up-and-coming YouTuber, ignore the dislikes. You'll just lose sleep over it. Who cares? It's interaction at the end of the day. So Move forward, have fun, enjoy the journey. Off-grid wannabe, I hope that in a roundabout way answers that question. And apparently it's not Sunday. The Smooth Goat, hey Pete, personally I think you are way better than other YouTubers doing the same thing. You are one of the pioneers of recycling batteries and DIY Powerwalls. I think we all offer something. I think even the little tiny baby channels, we all offer something to this community. The way it has evolved, the way we do things, I'm kind of proud that, you know, what we have done. Who would have thought that it would have worked, hey? Hi from Mount Dora, FL, Forest Lake. No. Hey, welcome back, Daniel. Regular around here. The Smooth Goat, you should have way more subscribers and viewers than what you do, mate. Honestly, you deserve it. I don't know. See, I'm not as. Take Jehu for an example, because we always go back to Jehu, right? The guy's got skills. There is no denying he doesn't do any videos like I do. I do the open, no bullshit, little to no editing in a lot of them. Whereas if you look at Jehu's videos, each one is manicured. It's probably planned. It's well thought out. It's extremely well edited. Let's face it. I can't do that. I haven't got that ability, that skill, that talent, determination, driver, and I can't be bothered doing videos that long. So, I tell you what, if we get 100 people in the room, I'll show you, you know that lithium to lead video? I'll show you the back end of that, show you how much I earned. That one took me, and it took a 4-month period to go from I want to do this job to getting the parts to getting the access to the site. About 20 trips out there backwards and forwards trying to work stuff out, because I only had like an hour out there each time, and the problem is there's an hour drive there and an hour drive back, so it was a 3-hour for an hour's worth of filming or editing or redoing stuff. And then I blew up my Batrium out there. That pissed me off. That I didn't even do anything for a month after that because I was so annoyed. And then, you know, it took me a while to even tell Jaron that I blew one of his products up. But it's, yeah. So if we get a decent amount of viewers, and if you really want to see that sort of stuff, I will share that, and I'm happy to share that. But it's like I made like $100 on that video. But what I did get, I got like 600 new subscribers on that one video alone. So that was pretty cool. But $100 for one video, yeah, that was worth all that time and effort. I think it's about 40 or 50 hours of editing time alone. So, yeah. It's hard to justify sometimes. Aaron E. If you ever watch Angus Maker's Muse, his 3D printing channel down in Australia is going to do a project with some headways. Maybe a collab. That'd be pretty cool. Except I've tried doing collabs before, and they say that doing collaborations is really good for your channel. But I've never really seen any benefit from, well, okay, so Jehu Say My Name, yeah, that worked. But I've tried with a few other people, and it doesn't do much. I think it's who you collaborate with, I guess. But I'd like to do that more for the community, but I don't know how to go about it, and, you know, things like that. So I'd love to do more stuff advertising the smaller YouTubers. But my client, like, I don't think I'm big enough to have an effect on that sort of thing. 1977 All Out, thank you for the £2, is that pounds? Thank you very much. You and Jehu taught me everything I know, but now Jehu's just interested in money and profits and no longer doing it to help the DIY community, and that's why you're my favourite. I'm going to chime in on this. That's a common thing for people to say about Jehu. I don't enjoy where he's going, but I get it. He does it for a living. He has spent a freaking long time, an insane amount of effort to get where he is, and it has to pay. Otherwise, it was all for nothing. So I get it. Could he do it differently or better? Probably, but I think it'd actually hurt his channel more than help it. So, you know, things will always evolve and creators will always change the way they do things. Heck, I hope I don't change too much. I still want to be Pete with bad hair and bad breath. Yes, you put Sunday. Hi from Adelaide, and you care. That's beautiful. Thanks, mate. Rightio, moving on. Super FKV, thank you very much. I think I've covered that. It's Saturday here in NZ, so Sunday. So Sunday is all. It's Saturday in Aussie. It's Saturday in Australia. I typed it wrong, obviously. Albert, how much you pay for the cells that you have and where you buy them? So these cells here that I am processing at the moment, and the other 300 in that box on the floor, were kind of a donation of sorts. A recycling company messaged me and said, I've got 400 laptop batteries or something like that. Do you want them? I proceeded to wet myself. It was a little embarrassing. But I said, yeah, I want them. 10, 15, 20 minutes later, they drove up my driveway. And I looked at them and instantly, look, I've done a lot of cells, and you really do learn what cells are in what. I looked at them and went, these are awesome. And my mind started going a million miles an hour. There was like 20 boxes. And I'm going through all these boxes like a kid that just seen tits for the first time. And they were all the same. It was just like this gold mine. And I was having a chat, and I was saying, and they're saying they don't want any money for them. And I was like, these are worth money. I mean, this laptop battery is worth $6, $5 or $6. So's this one. Every single one, it's $1 a cell, unprocessed, for these cells. And I said, look, I've got to do something for them. And I said, well, what about I refurbish some of your computers? And they were like, what do you mean? I said, well, I can reload Windows on them. I can deban all the hard drives. I can run a couple of passes over the hard drives to clear them all out. I can crack them open, dust them, clean them all out. Warranty test all the hard drives to make sure that when they resell them, they're as good as possible. Run a stress test over and make sure the memory and video card and everything's, hasn't got any errors or anything on it. And they went, you can do that? And I said, sure. Drop some computers in. Well, that was 50 computers ago. I got about 50 in 1 week. But moving forward, I got so many jobs done so fast for them. I think I got those 50 reload D-bands and stuff. I was doing about 10 a day on top of all my other work. So I got all those done. So that's sort of how I paid for these particular cells. And these cells come from, I think, a local high school. They had a program where they had to replace all the batteries a year or two ago. And these have been sitting at the school for many years. And testament to how long they've been sitting there is they are all about 1 volt. I don't think I've had any that have been more than 1 or maybe 2 volts, because none of them work in the Opuses. You put them in the Opus and it just doesn't detect because the voltage is quite low. Oh, this one's 2 volts. But they're all around the same voltage. They were all pulled from all the laptops were a year old when they were pulled out. All the batteries were pulled out. So they're all pretty good cells. I think It's super lucky to get these ones. But I've had the most amount of luck from like schools, hospitals, and things like that. So 30-second ad. Why the hell was there a 30-second ad? I've turned all those ads off, the long ones. That's nuts. Joe, I'll fix that, but I don't know how to fix it right now. Was it a skippable ad, Joe? That's BS. I don't like that at all. There's no way that they should be putting 30-second. Oh, if it was skippable, that's fine. I hope you didn't watch it, Joe. You've got better things to be doing. And why are you on the internet? You should be fixing your truck. And I've just missed a whole heap of chats. I will go back to them in a second, guys. Now, I'm going to stack these in the container nice and neat this time so I don't get in trouble. Yeah, but watched it just for you. Aren't you awesome? As a hobby, parallel, not series. Wow, still Friday here in Norway. Pete, show everyone the mallet trick. I don't have a mallet to show them the mallet trick. Love the Powerwall community. Would like to get more involved in it. Was thinking of posting some videos on YouTube, but I'm an engineer but I'm an engineer, not an editor. Well, that might mean instead of doing that, just take photos of stuff, dude. You don't have to do videos. And that's the good thing about Facebook. Or if you don't like Facebook, head on over to the forum. It is a bloody fantastic place to hang out and chat. And if you need anything on the forum, you let me know and I'll sort it out. Or one of my moderators will. Dags. These bits will kill you. They'll just jump up and slap you. It's really slow to put them in there properly, I'm just saying, guys. Beat mallet trick. Hi, Hanukkah. H-A-N-A-H-A-K-A-N. G'day, mate. How are you? Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. I wanted to get the PIP 40 foot. They don't sell it anymore directly. The new models are 5048. They're the new ones. That's the one I wanted to get. High voltage. That has got CAN bus, I think, or a CAN bus adapter, which technically means it could be hooked up to Batrium. Technically. I don't know how to do that, and it'd need custom programming or something, but you could get the protocols and hook it into Batrium. That would be kind of neat. Imagine what that would do for the community. What else we got? I'm trying to start process the cells, and I can't watch the screen as much. €2 for a coffee. Awesome, I'll take that. Pete, I'm about to buy a spot welder, but I'm undecided. I know it's better for the cells, but you've proven soldering correctly works as well. I don't think I have. Was it Zerophobia? I don't think I have proved it yet. I think we've got a long way to go before we. It's like cancer from asbestos. You don't know until years later. I've got to go and fix aeroplanes. Okay, see ya, Average Joe. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I don't think we are anywhere near knowing the cause and effect of me soldering cells. Moving forward, I would never solder a cell, just because there's enough information out there to say it's bad and not enough to say it's actually good, I guess you would say. So yes, I do solder both negative and positive, and the positive side I fuse. Wow, Australia's 2 days ahead of the world. This is good for interaction. Putting the wrong date there, or the wrong day. It's alright. Can't maths either, can't spell, can't English. What website do you use to put your cell orders in for? Put your cell order in for packs. I don't. What do you mean by for packs? I don't actually order them from anywhere. 18650shrink.com. I get a lot of my cell holders from, and heat shrink and stuff like that, and spot welders and many other devices that I need for doing Powerwall gear. 18650shrink.com. There we go, me shilling other people's websites again. And that sounds like my wife. So you're going to have to forgive me. I'm going to commit the cardinal sin of YouTube, and I'm going to go and visit my wife while I just let this chat sit there. No saying boobs. I'll be back in about 10 minutes. Enjoy your time without me. Be creative in the chat. I'll be back. Oh yeah, the wife's up, and there's coffee being made. So that's impressive. And I've returned. I probably should. All right, we lost some community members. Clearly, these guys are classic. Repack of boobs. He's finally gone. Let's talk about how great Jay got around it. How long has he been out? Breast memory. Judge guys. There is no smoking batteries. I want to build a lithium titanium power 20,000 cycles for the win. Bouncing bar. Melons. Imagine if they started smoking the power to tell Pete, I have more surveillance cameras and alarms in here. I would know about it pretty quickly. There's nothing better than smoking a fat blunt before processing cells. So relaxing. Right, moving on. I know how. What did he? Someone just gave me another super chat. Thank you, sir. I'm still catching up though, so just give me a moment. I'll be with you. I'll be with you momentarily. And I just did the English accent trying there. Probably failed dismally. Sticky thing sticking to my arm. I should have forced you to watch Battery wasn't there. You can tell me when my batteries are charging. Oh look, somebody's making coffee. The wife is up. The wife is up. There you go. That must be the toaster on. Not sure. The sun is just coming up, so the batteries might be charging soon. Nobody wants to watch that. Where are we going? There's nothing better than smoking a flat blunt. We've gone that. Dude, they didn't. I know how you. That is at somebody else. Yeah, crap. I noticed. I spy with my little eye something beginning, or maybe just haven't updated yet. Kangaroo suddenly pops his head in. Beginning. What have we got? Come on, catching up. If you scrub through the video, it will show you Pete has been on for 1 hour. Absolutely. Batteries. It used to show you under the video title. What did I miss? Absolutely nothing. I wasn't here. Oh, battery. Oh yeah, if you hold your mouse over the timeline, clicking it, there we go. Neat. Aliens beam Pete up. Actually, I went and gave my wife a hug because she's awake and helped her make coffee. I guess if you're up at 4, it doesn't matter what it is. Elon Musk had him taken away. Oh man, I wet myself a second time. I must have been binge watching his channel for the last few days. Love the videos he has put out. Thank you very much for binge watching me. I do appreciate the effort. Anybody's LTO cells? No, I gather I'm late to the party. Chris, not really. Jenny, thank you very much for the £5. Do you see any problem with fusing 2 cells together with just 1 fuse wire on a big pack? Greetings from Germany. No, I don't actually see a problem with. Well, there is a problem with it, but it depends on how much thought you put into building your packs, I guess. So if you're building a really big pack, 1 fuse can easily do, a couple amps without any problems, so you're not going to have any problems there. My thing, what I think I did wrong, and I don't know if I'm going to continue doing it or not, but if you have a look at the lead to lithium pack, or the lead to lithium video, it shows 157p packs, and I actually did a nickel strip across 3 cells and only fused it once. Now I like that idea because it's fast. I'm talking it's really fast. You grab a couple of these little tiny magnets, rare earth magnets, and there is no way you're going to be able to see those little magnets. And you just hold the nickel strip down with a heap of them, and you can spot weld so fast. And with the K-Weld unit from 18650shrink.com, I got to remember these shilling websites. You can put it in auto mode, so you just hold one electrode down and you just go next one, and I leave one in the same place and then move the other one in two different locations, so it's got 3 solder points, and I find that works really, really well. I don't know if it's what you should be doing, but it does work. But then I only have one fuse back to the bus bar. Now I hopefully I'm going to go out there tomorrow and check on the build out there at the farm. But I've got one pack that's self-discharging, and it's a real problem because I don't know how to. The only way I can fix it is by taking all the fuses off one side and just waiting for one cell to drop down, and then doing multimeter every couple of hours and working out which cell is dropping the fastest. But then I've got 2 or 3 cells, and I don't know which cell it is. I'm going to have to replace all 3. But yeah, back to your question, no problem at all using one fuse wire for 2 cells. I can't see that ever being a problem. Nicholas. Have you ever done an idiot's guide to DIY power walls? No, I'll leave somebody else to do a book. Somebody else will spend altogether too much time and effort, write an ebook, and then shill that. I think the problem with that is, for what I'm doing here, I'm showing people what I do, how I do it, how I've done it, what I've done wrong. I'm trying not to teach people how to do it. I'm more trying to show my journey and document that journey. I think once you write a book, it may imply some level of liability. In today's world, that's not a really acceptable risk for me to be taking. So I don't think I'd ever actually do that. No. Where did you get that lipo spot welder? I remember one of your videos. www.8650shrink.com. Keith, he is a community member here. You can message him through his page. I don't even know what his email is, but it's a fantastic unit. You can message him through eBay and he'll sell you one. And he's in North America. He's a North America seller for them. I probably should get the Australian for it, but I can't be bothered if I should be honest. And I could never match his exacting standards for postage and the quality of it. Haunted Circuit, where do you get the Lyco spot? Well done that. 18650shrink.com. Yep. http://www.18650shrink.com. There we go. That works. Uses sub 1000 milliamp cells. What are people doing with them? I'm giving them away. I give all of my my sub thousands away. I don't know what people do with them. They must be building like power walls, but because they don't have any space restrictions as I do, well, my space restrictions are limited to the fact that my mounts cost $80 each or something. And I can't get them. I can't get the mounts made anymore, and I've only got like 10 left. So, and some of those will be going on to this project. There we go. Cool. Thanks. I should be sleeping dead tired. Keep watching. Why? That is a good question, Xerophobia. Why? It doesn't make any sense, brother. Type Nicholas Heidi. Nicholas, what are we typing into the chat? I can't type into the chat. I type only 50 words a minute or something. It'd take me forever. Um, whatever happened to the awesomest 18650 charger thingy? I think it's stuck at Average Joe's house. I think Average Joe was going to pass it on to somebody else. It's not lost. I could probably find it, and I think Average Joe has it. I think life got in the way, and it's sort of stopped. I'll chase it up. I'll see if I can have that passed on to the next person. I'd be more concerned about what's happened to Nerdville. And I think it was Chris the other day, I promised I'd actually give Nerdville a call. I should probably do that later on today. I've got to work out the time in the UK so I don't ring his phone in the middle of the night or whatever. That would probably be stupid. The sub 100,000 cells have been sold to Ultrafire. Type in the welder details, I mean. Welder details. I don't know the welder details, dude. Keith, where's Keith? I'll try and get Keith's email address. Keith Cameratucci? Keith Big Cameratucci. I can't even pronounce his last name. The heat shrink guy. Here you go. If you want, you can message this guy on the Faceballs. He will hook you up. Single best, cleanest, fastest, most efficient, safest poster for any DIY Power Wars product underneath the sun. Average Joe let us down. No, Average Joe did not let us down. He just got busy, and life happens like that sometimes. Where have we got it? Sold to Ultrafire type of details. It's just after 10 PM now in the UK. I've used a few 1,000 for flashlights, made camping battery, and I've converted a digital radio from Type T to Type C to 18650. That's pretty awesome. I've got so many cells though, I don't like using the lower cells. My kid got a torch for a school camp a year ago, and I put a 3,000 milliamp hour cell in there, and he doesn't use it every day, but he does use it. And the torch has still got like 3.1 volts or something. It's still going. It's one of these little torches with a little gauge on it. What? And I didn't feed the dog when I was outside. Good on me. But I gave the wife coffee, so that counts, right? I found someone who has made an Arduino 1860 chargers, discharges, all in one shot. That's cool. I still don't think any of them are as good as the Opuses and stuff like that. Those things have really stood the test of time, and they're cost effective. The cost effective from a standpoint is you can build an entire project and then take the ones that you haven't killed or short-circuited and sell them back to another community member and get 50% of your money back. So they're really good. And if you've got a group of friends you can get together, you get Opuses or Liticalas, and they're so cheap. You can do them, you really can get them cheap when you share them with friends and then sell them on once you're done. I have to start doing this more efficiently. What do we got? 41 people in the room. I told you walking out does bad things. 1860 Shrink website is down right now. That'll be right. Cheap ass host. He'll be back up soon enough. I got another link there to his Facebook page. Just head on down to his Facebook page. The Heat Shrink guy on Facebook. That one only just goes to his eBay store, I think, anyway. Or should redirect to his eBay store. 18650 shrinkandcellholders.com also works, but that might be a little bit long. Daniel G. Lang, the problem with fusing two cells with one fuse is the direct unfused connection between the two allows for higher current short between the two, which might incline to trigger a fire. I don't think there's enough potential energy with... I guess, yeah, you're right, that could happen. I think the chances of it are so slim. Zero Phobia, cheers guys, I'm out, thanks Pete, good work got me into this year later. Thanks for tuning in, Phobia. Nicholas Heidi, over a ton of heat shrink that allows 4 cells to be heat shrinked if someone wants to buy. Smoothgate, I'm sitting on about 10,086.50s right now. Is that uncomfortable? Like, yeah. I want to build a 14S 200p battery, but it's taking me forever, and to test them about a year into capacity testing so far. Done about 1,000 cells. You need a couple more discharges, brother. I got, what do you call it? Rowan's discharger here. And I've done, well, what did I do? About 4 days ago, I did the last live feed, and I've done 10 kilos of cells since then. So I think we worked out that's about 250 cells in a couple of days. But I'm really not trying that hard to process cells. I'm just sort of, I'm kicking along. I've got a lot more left to do. I probably should be pushing, because I should be able to knock out probably 700, 800 cells a week if I push. Of course, that whole process is slowed by the fact that I've only got good cells, so they're all over 2,500 milliamp hours each, or maybe 2,400 milliamp hours. So they do take a good few hours to charge, discharge, and then recharge again. And you've got to be around or not sleeping to actually do the changeovers and stuff. So it does take some time. I do agree. I build test pack from my USB 2000 milliamp hour cells, just a different balancing system, BMS current measuring active balance. Why are you using active balance on 18650s? It seems like madness. I've seen a few tests with active balances, and if anybody saw the tests that I've seen, they'd never be using them. They whinge and bitch about how much power the Batrium wastes when it active balances, but when it passively balances, and then you see what those 1S units use when they're not even transferring any energy around, and it's horrendous. The accumulated amount of power that those units use for one 1S unit exceeds the Batrium and 14 Longmons for an entire week. It's just stupid. But people consider that they are an option, so let them have it. And I'm a Batrium fanboy, so don't believe what I say. Bloody nose. Sorry. I had to wipe me snot box. Look out. Where am I up to? The smooth goat, you laying them out. Are you laying them out? If you buy those cheap charge testers on eBay, you could build a 10 cell tester for under $40 USD. But can you build it reliably? Can you build it reliably? Can you trust the output? That's the thing. I mean, it's building something and having something built reliably are two completely separate things. And do you have the time or the skills? Has it got the same resale value? There's lots of issues with that comment, and lots of benefits too. I'm not discounting them. With resistors and 18650 holders, yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I just don't like that route. Maybe that's just me. maybe I'm not a true DIYer. Maybe I'm just to put shit together that other people have done all the work and effort for. There's a few LiPo recycling plants that are taking the batteries and fully dismantling them for 90% plus recycling. As soon as the free ones are gone, I think you'll be buying the same as scrap metal. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, oh, time's money. Time's money. So that's, you know, if you've got time and you don't have money, oh, you've got to do it, Haunted. I agree. I agree with that for sure. Hence YouTube. Rightio. I've caught up with the chat. That usually means I'm leaving, but in this case, it means I've just got to, you know, work harder and get this finished. How do we get more people in the chat? We've only got 40 people here, and we got what, 5 or 10 people actually chatting? Is there anybody here that hasn't put a comment in? Now's your chance. I got to get this chat happening. Let's do this. Come on. I'm using 24S universal balancer that does 1 amp transfer and Bluetooth monitoring on the only unit draws about 10 milliamps off the pack. But is that 10 milliamps constantly all day long? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Is that per cell? Or is that for the whole lot? The cumulative of that 10 milliamps is what I'm more concerned with. How long, how much? Smash the thumbs up button. Absolutely smash the thumbs up button. Use extreme violence on that thumbs up button. Or thumbs button if you think I suck. You can go the other way if necessary. Lurking. Dan. Who else is actually processing cells while I'm processing cells? No. That's a smart-ass comment if I ever seen it. Hi, Pete. I am from Southern California. Welcome. Was that Sideband Samurai? Welcome, sir. I don't know if I'm going really slowly today or what. It doesn't seem like I'm making much progress through these cells. I'm getting there, but it's not. It doesn't seem fast. Maybe I'm taking too much care. Who knows? I'm out. Totally would be processing with you, wanting to spend some spare cash to get more. Awesome. I have a Mini 18650, a 24 volt, 100 amp hour off-grid system that's been working 4 years. That's awesome. Have you got that documented anywhere? 4 years for a really small system is interesting because it shows that these systems really do work. I mean, having a big system, it's harder to see degradation, is that even a word? But on a small pack with higher cycle counts and higher depth of discharge, it'll be easier to see how well they last. So 4 years, that's a solid amount of time, I reckon. Bollocks to you lots. I'm off to get a kip. See you, mate. Thanks for tuning in. I have a Mini A650 that is continuous draw. However, it doesn't burn any extra energy as heat, which drastically lowers my charge time. So what happens? So in your Owen, so in your situation, okay. So say, for instance, you've got a balancer that uses that much. Okay, that's fair enough, and it's obviously a active balance, so it moves energy from one cell to the other, right? What happens when you screw up and put the wrong settings into your charge controller and it overcharges the batteries, and your balancer that uses 40 milliamps or whatever it was can't put the power anywhere, and it just starts overcharging the batteries. What happens then? I've always wanted to know in that situation. I mean, it's not even if it's human error. What happens if the charge controller fails and starts pumping the amps into the batteries? You know, lots or a little bit. What happens then? What protects the batteries in your situation? What protects the batteries? Like, do you have a disconnect? Do you have high and low disconnect or something like that? Which I presume you do. I mean, you'd be mad not to, right? Painting walls outside, or at least I was until I saw you live. Why would you be painting, Chris Chest? Oh no, you're in the UK. I was thinking you're in Melbourne for some reason. I'm thinking, why the hell are you outside painting walls this early in the morning? That would have been a little bit chilly. I've caught up with the chat. This is when it gets boring and lonely. Tomic, evening Pete from PL. It's almost midnight here. Did you think about making mobile power pack and set up with your inverter that allows you to charge a car or any emergency that could happen? Yeah, not so much. I've got this little pack, which is my trolling motor pack, which has turned out to be my mobile battery, because it's about 80 amp hours, 73 amp hours if I should be honest. And it is an absolutely brilliant little pack. It's very well balanced. It's built right. It's built with NCR 8650 cells, and I'm very happy with it. So that's sort of my portable power pack. And I've got the IMAX, not the IMAX, the X6 charge discharger that goes onto that. I can use it to boost charge batteries down in the power shed, and I use it for lots of things. My buddy borrowed it, Rowan, borrowed it to run his Ingle for a few days while he was camping, so he didn't have to take a massive battery and solar panels and everything. And I think 80 amp hours lasted him quite a few days. And then when he got back to power, he just used the IMAX to charge the Opus. No, what the hell am I speaking about? The iCharger X6 to charge it back up again. And it only takes a couple of hours to charge back up at 30 amps. And then he could go back off camping again. So that worked really well for him, I believe. Saved him some space in the van and saved him some weight as well, which is always a good thing when you're out with the kids. Come on, pull off. Oh yeah. Actually, I have a BMS and an active balancer that connects. BMS does not balance the packs just for safety. It'd probably disconnect the active balancers, but active balancers for comparison. There you go. That answers that question. Thank you very much for entertaining my bullshit. To be fair, could I ask why you are painting the walls at 22:29? What's 22:29? Don't make me maths. 10:29. That's in the evening? What are you doing painting walls at 10:29 in the evening? Sidebite Samurai, it does not work. Jehu built one like it and tried in a Tesla car. They only got 10 minutes of charge into the car. Yeah, so it's pretty useless. Makes for a good video and a good story though. They don't protect from over or under voltage. The pack test currently is cheap BMS to connect from the charger if the cells reach 4.2. He said, well, I can babysit while I test. There we go. That answers that question. Well, it clarifies it more than anything else. I get worried sometimes that people put too much faith in some of the cheaper BMSs. I think that's where the root of that whole conversation come from. Is people just say, oh, I've got a BMS and just, oh, all this magic happens now, and I don't have to keep an eye on it anymore. But I like your conversation. I like your comment saying that you can babysit it. that shows you've got some sort of grasp on what you're doing, and you understand the risks, and that's kind of a good thing, I reckon, in my book. I've got narcolepsy, so that's normal type for me. What's narcolepsy? Isn't that where you swear a lot? No, that's Tourette's. Narcolepsy must be something to do with sleeping, I'm assuming. I'll have to Google it later. I wish I was processing cells, but out of cells to process, and I'm stuck with charging and discharging. That's a terrible job, isn't it? Charging and discharging, it takes the longest period of time. Even with, how many discharges have I got? 2, 4, 6, I've got 8 discharges. And I get about 100 cells a day, and it still doesn't feel like I'm making very much progress. While stripping cells, I lightly place 2 surfaces against the disc sander to remove the burrs and allow for better welding adhesion. I am genuinely considering doing that also. I just put it on my bench, and I just stick it on my bench and just twist it, and that sort of twists it down. But I have to do something else, because that's when you're doing the nickel strip, that's with used cells. That is one thing that really screws up how well you can actually spot weld your cells. So I like that idea. I probably have to do it all in one hit, just do it in a production line or something to make that as fast as possible. But I like the idea of using a sander or a Dremel or something like that. Sleep disorder, there we go. You are using Batrium BMS. How do you like it? I love it. There is nothing I don't like about it. It changed my whole... Look, I wouldn't be doing Power Wallers. I wouldn't be doing this project or any more project. I would have given up a long time ago without the Batrium stuff. Things I like about it. Now, I'm not an advanced user. I do not use it like some people use it. I do not have CAN bus. I don't do a lot of the stuff that a lot of other people do and have troubles with. I've got mine set up so it's the best possible situation for the product, not the best possible situation because, you know, I don't have that infrastructure in place, I guess you'd say. So I don't have as many problems. I don't have any problems. I love it to death. That visual, that dashboard is just freaking awesome. With one glance, you can see if you've got a problem or not. It's evolved. The product is evolving. There is stuff happening in the background that will just take the product to the next level. And of course, I can't say much more than that. But it's the level of stuff that it can do in the background is exponentially growing. I guess the control, I'm trying to make shit up here, not to sound like I am a fanboy, but the control, the stuff that you can control, the configuration of it, you can, there's no parameters, well, there probably is parameters that you can't change, but there's just a plethora of parameters that you can change, configure, make work for you. I mean, look, I got a bloody Bitcoin mining rig, be it not being used anymore because it's sitting just there, running off of it, and the Batrium tells it to turn on and off via the voltage and a few other metrics if I choose to turn it on. It can do hot water systems, it can turn on air conditioners, it can charge a car, it can not necessarily charge a car, but it can control the charger charging the car. You can use the Longmons to warm the battery pack up if you wanted to. to get it to charge in cold environments. You can hook it up to ThingSpeak so you can look at all the remote data from it. There's a UDP listener or something that has been released, so you can do your own Grafana dashboards. So the Wi-Fi protocols have been released, so you can do stuff with that. You can get creative. I don't know. I'll probably think of other stuff later that I like about it. Dislike? There are no dislikes. I haven't used, like, there are heaps of other comparable products out there, none that are cheaper. For this class of battery management system, there's nothing cheaper on the market. There's nothing that has the feature list that Batrium has that is cheaper, even though everyone complains about the price constantly. They clearly haven't done their research and had a look around. I've only ever used the cheap BMSs, so the China ones. I say China very loosely because it's not all of China, it's probably just the back left-hand corner, but you know what I mean. I've never used anything else other than shit BMSs and one good BMS. So it's probably not the right person to ask whether it's any good or not, because I think it's brilliant. And I just went on a little bit of a rant then. I'm confused. It's Friday. Was it Sunday? I wrote the wrong thing. It's Saturday morning here. How do you find so many like cells? I went through that earlier in the feed, mate. It is basically, I got lucky on this one. I'm confused. Do you ever do smoke fire alarm Batrium switch video? No, I haven't done it yet because I've just got tied up. So that's the alarm. It's funny. I started doing it, and then I need to test and test and test over and over again. And I kept pressing the alarm button, this one. Anyway, I got the battery out of it. But I kept pressing the alarm button over and over again. And because I've got tinnitus really bad, it made my ears ring really, really bad. So therefore, I just didn't want to do it anymore. And then Jaron said, why don't you just put a switch on it? And it was like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm testing an alarm. And he says, yeah, but it's just a relay. You just put a switch on it. And it was like, you got to be shitting me. So that is on the list of things to do. I have to get that done. It's just, my 3D printer died the other day. The motherboard died in it. The extruder. I don't know what you call it. The extruder output or something on the motherboard doesn't work. I changed all the cables around. I changed the extruder cable for, say, the X-axis or the Y-axis, and it starts working again. So it's not the motor, it's not the cable. I've switched all the cables around. It's not the cables, so it must be the motherboard that's faulty in the 3D printer. So I've had that to do as well. Obviously, work and the Tesla battery video. So I got a little bit on my plate and not too much enthusiasm to do much. And that's the problem. You've got to, doing videos, you've got to want to do them, which is difficult in some cases. Tomic. What did I do? I just approved your thing. Jay has used some shit inverter and small pack for the battery. Idea by itself works, but need proper equipment, not only catch Tesla kickbait. True. It's a good it's still a valid test though, I guess. Soft wire and a brush on a Dremel, that'll work. Commented on, but it wasn't noticed. Australia is a day ahead, if not 2 days. Yes, okay, I got it wrong. Still watching for the all-in-one Batrium for RV, unless that product died. What do you mean all-in-one Batrium for the RV, Chris? Which project? All-in-one for the RV. I don't even know which one you're talking about. Unless you're talking about the the Watchmon 5. Is that the one you're talking about, Chris? Because that hasn't died. That's that one. That's a Watchmon 5. And soon there'll be another screen watch with a Watchmon 7. I might even try and get that one hooked up this weekend. I might just make a pack for the Watchmon 7. They're probably a better way of doing it. Actually, Chris, I want to know what you're talking about with that. With that one. Once I get the money saved, I'd love to run a Patreon on the system Powerwall and would like to run active balancing along with it someday. And you don't want active balancing. Active balancing has evolved, and probably should stop that comment right there so I don't say something I shouldn't. Far out. This one's getting hard. The light sanding happens very quickly. Oh, I bet you it would. I bet you'd only just have to touch it. There's no more expensive BMS than the Baytrim Tomic. Yes, there is. There, with the same feature set, there's a handful. The same feature set on the same amount of cells, with the same back end, with the same amount of cell monitors that you can run on one Baytrim BMS. Name one that's more expensive. And let's look at the same feature set. Let's not look at something that's similar. Got it. One little tag I couldn't get. It's a great it's a great price if you can afford it. Affording, like, if time was money, right? And I say this a lot. When I first started my project and there wasn't a lot of people doing this project, I was down in my battery shed 3 or 4 or 5 times a day with a multimeter doing manual readings of every single cell. It was oh, far out. It was hell. It was no fun at all. I mean, it might have been different if it was here and I only had to walk here, and not walk all the way down there into a confined space that was my shed. It might have been a lot bit easier, but oh man, yeah, time's money. By the way, greetings from UK. Welcome, Noel. Boo Boo 5 Sunday morning, Pete, in Bris, that far from sunny coast. No, it's not that far from the sunny coast. A couple of 100 meters. Well, a couple of 100 kilometers. Sorry. What is the cost of the Baytrim system you have? Just jump onto baytrim.com and have a look at the pricing. The sanding also leaves a very small and clean surface. Yeah, I think you've already convinced me already. D-Tech, welcome. Lots of testing is the key. Absolutely. I installed a 48 volt PIP inverter for a client. It had a little fault. What was the little fault? Have you had any fault with yours? No, I haven't had any fault with mine. And if I did have a fault, it would be listed. I would be posting it straight away. So many people have followed me with the way I build my Powerwall. If I have a fault with anything, I jump all over that and tell you straight away, because I don't want to be recommending anything if it's not fit for purpose. So I try and maintain, I do maintain a very open and honest with everything I do. I mean, even back in the day when I told everybody that I blew the Baytrim up. That's my fault. I short-circuited it up here that time and uploaded the video. My PCM60X was overheating. I uploaded that. I try and always upload honestly. without the affiliate link bullshit clause. There are probably times in my YouTube career that I have not listened to that statement, but I can assure you anything that is recent has that ethos. Get the newer 32-bit board for your printer. They are cheap too. I got the... Okay, so for the Ender 3, I got the version 1.1.6, I think. The silent board. I don't know if that's 32-bit or not. I don't know. This Ender 3 3D printer is the freaking crappiest piece of junk that I've ever used for a 3D printer. I used the larger one and it worked really well. Aaron's that I borrowed. But this thing, I tell you what, you spend more time bloody calibrating it for every new lot of filament and leveling the bed. It's just, I'm not enjoying the experience at all. But my son loves it, so I've got to, and he just prints junk and it drives me crazy. But it's his junk, so I just get it fixed up for him basically. Sook, stop! The dog is still hungry, so I'm going to have to disappear soon and feed the dog. Actually, you know what? It's close enough to 8 o'clock. I'm going to do that. Somebody take over the chat, will you, and entertain me when I get back. I use very sheep disc sander from Harbour Freight, which I bought especially for that. Awesome. In the lead up to chemistry, I understand waning energy levels, Pete. Up to Chrissy. Probably just the motor controller on the 3D printer. I don't know what it is, but it's I changed all the cables around, so it's not the cables. It's the problem moves with the port, the X port. Is it extruder? The E port. Whatever the extruder is, the first one out of the 4 ports. So it moves with that. Doesn't matter what I do. So it's definitely the board. Not going anywhere near. Pete, would you happen to recall the weight of your 7S ADP batteries, including the metal rack? Oh, dude, I know I weighed it once, but I can't remember. I could do it again. Well, that's an ADP pack there. No bus bars. And this is the one that went 0 volts because I didn't have a Batrium on it. So that's 4.6 kilos. So if somebody wants to do the maths, that's 4.6 kilos times 7. I don't know if I've got a rack that I can get to quickly. Give me a second. I will unpack this rack. Oh, that's a really hammered one. It's so cut up. Oh yeah. So the mount is 3.6 kilos. The mount's 3.6. That's 3.6 as well. So 3.6 times 8. Someone can maths that and leave it in the description below. Mark, I hope that answers that question. Okay. I'm up to Chris Chester. I'm going to go and feed this dog. I'll be back in a second. Okay, come on. Go and get a tin. Come on, let's go. Let's go. You're hungry. Come on. Oh yeah, I'm back. She should be set for the next week. I just filled the bowl up with dry food and gave her 2 tins of wet. That should be more than enough, I reckon, to keep her happy. What have we got? That's piss poor effort. What, 3 bloody comments? I just hope I don't get demonetized and lose my $4 from this live feed. What we got? It was ages ago. The idea was a compact system for an RV that had all the bits in one board. I think it was going to be up to 7S. In that case, Chris, it's this one. That is Watchmon 7. And that is a working prototype. That is, in fact, the very first one in anybody's hands other than Batrium. I haven't even tested it yet. I probably a little bit slack. So that's the Watchmon 7. I can't even remember what it does, but that one does 10. This one does 10 to 14S. So I've had this one running on 14S here and then on Tesla battery. And this one I'm going to put on 1 Tesla battery, hopefully by the end of today, and get it all set up and running. So there we go. That answers that question, Chris. Right. Got to get this finished. It is 8 o'clock, which means Wifey will be coming out here shortly to hit me up for money so she can go grocery shopping. I should probably go grocery shopping with her, but I won't. The Real X. Good evening. Hey, I know it's almost midnight. And it's only Friday, Saturday. Welcome. Did your camera or streaming allow for 1080p? Because there's no difference when switching down to 720. I think it's not my camera. My camera is capable of doing 2K. No, it's only 1080p. But my internet is horrendous, so it's probably limited by my internet connection as opposed to the camera settings. I actually thought the camera was 4K, but it's only HD. So I should invest in a new one of them eventually too. Good evening. It's been, what have we got? Switching down. It's Saturday, 7:30 on this day. Damien, welcome. Can we say boobs when you're away? No, you can't. I keep getting demonetization warnings whenever that happens. I think it's as funny as hell, but it's like, is it worth the funniness? I guess we'll find out. In 1902 in Australia, the whole nation observes a day of humiliation and praise for rain, as a terrible drought kills livestock and threatens crops raining. What the hell are you smoking, Damien? That's yesterday. That's not 1902, but it hasn't rained yet. We're just waiting for the 10th of September. Well, that's coming. That's 3 days away. Things are looking up. Chiefs, how can you keep going getting batteries? Australia must be out of batteries by now. You got them all. Good job. Absolutely not. There's still a lot out there. My buddy up the road got 3 600-kilo totes of batteries the other day. 3 of them. And even I was jealous it was so many. It took him days to get them off the car because he had to manually unload them off the ute or whatever. What do we got? Crack. Hey there, have a nice day. I usually do. Should have to go. Persa ice-free for printer Pete. Should have gone. I didn't pay for this printer. It was a bang good sponsorship deal thing. So I can't complain about that. But it's still horrible. I still wouldn't recommend you buy one. Not for an absolutely green newbie at any rate. And look, there might be something that I can do differently or better to make it a better experience. I'm out of care for it. And in fact, that printer spends more time at other people's houses than it does here. Because I lend it out the same as I lend all my tools out. And spot welder and all that sort of stuff. It disappears and comes back when it's ready. So if anybody wants to borrow the spot welder or the printer, feel free to hit me up. Yeah, feed the dog. We will keep it's on minimum. On the main board of your printer, there are controllers for each axis. If they are not soldered on, you could swap them over and troubleshoot further. I didn't really look at it. I went, okay, that's faulty. I'll buy a new one. I didn't really. I think it's like $55 for the new board, and apparently it's better. So I'm desperately hoping that it improves the reliability of it. And if it does, I might go the BL Touch route and maybe some custom firmware or something like that. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out, I guess you'd say. Rightio. I have almost got through all these cells. I've just got to pack them in. How awesome is that? Not that many, though. Not as many as I was hoping to get done in 2 hours. In fact, it's a pretty piss poor effort, if I should be honest. On the main board, bazookas. Same board as mine. They're built in Jani. This message is held for review. What do we got? 1, 2, 3 burbs. I still must be catching up from when I wasn't here feeding the dog. Watchmon 7, pretty. I wait the Watchmon 7 video. What do you want to see in the Watchmon 7 video? It's hard to. It's the same as all the rest of them. I guess I should point out the wiring and how you cable it in and stuff like that. Maybe that's something that I can do. Do the 7, 8, 9, 10S, or whatever it is. I really should check the specifications of it so I can talk fluently about it and know what I'm talking about. Sweeter stretches. What the hell, Samurai? Check out the Big Tree Tech SR Mini SR3 is a replacement for Ender 3 board. Apparently it's 32-bit and has the same layout as the stock board. I've already bought the new board, hey dude, otherwise I probably would have gone a different route. I did see I did do a quick Google and stuff like that, and it was like, you know what? I just want it working again. My son is trying to print out a Vanon hand. Vanon, I think it is. I don't know who the hell that is, but it's some hand with gold, with beads in it or something. And he's only 8. So he's trying to print this thing out and paint it all up for one of his friends at school or something. I don't know how that works these days, but anyway, that's what's happening. So I got lazy and just went, nah, that's the first option, and just bought it. Thank you very much for the tips, though. I mean, that's always a good thing. At least if it goes, well, if it goes again, I'm going to throw the printer in the bin. But if it goes again, I guess that is another option. Worth the funniness to us if you not so much. I think it's friggin' hilarious, the boobs thing, but it's YouTube and community standards and all that sort of stuff. We just start after calling it moobs, man boobs. I think that started with Average Joe, didn't it? I'm not sure how that actually started. There's enough of you in this room that have been around for long enough to know how that started, or at least remind me. The PIP inverter was not putting out half of the solar power it brought in. Sun on 500 watts. That's not good. I guess what you do in that situation is grab one solar panel and a short length of cable, put the solar panel at the perfect angle, get the multimeter or clamp meter out and see the amps going into the inverter, and then have a look what you get out, because you only get like, you know, 60% of what you put in out or something, isn't it like that? I don't know what the ratio is. I know I've got, above my head I've got like 3 kilowatt panels, and I would be lucky to get 2 kilowatt of power out of them. But then again, I am 50 meters away, and there aren't all at the perfect angle to the sun and all that sort of rubbish. So I think 2 kilowatts out of 3 kilowatt panels is more than enough in my situation. But certainly getting a quarter, there's something wrong there. Either the inverter's shagged, or you've done a cable wrong, or maybe you've even plugged a solar panel in back to front the wrong way around. I've done that before, and it just killed my solar production and consequently killed a couple of panels. Maybe that's an option. Wife is up, batteries down. That sounds like a bloody good way of putting it. Should make an interactive shed for us to play. That's why you've got so a couple of Arduino controllers or something, LOT into it, and you can control shit in my shed. Couple of ding dong bells or something. Should be Thanos, something like that. No worries, I'll send you $4 if you get demonetized. I may be late to the party, but the heavier springs for the bed and aluminium extruder, got them both for my Ender 3, and releveling is a thing. I've got the heavier springs. I've never put them in, and I've got the better extruder. But it took like 5 different springs to work out the best spring for the aluminium extruder, so it just didn't clunk. So it didn't twist and then drop back, twist and then drop back. It did that forever. And someone else worked that out. It wasn't me. It was Wayne, I think, who borrowed the printer. Worked that genius bit out and fixed that problem. So I've got like this handful of cells left, which you know what that means. This means I bugger off and go and spend time with the wife. So I've probably got about 10 or 15 minutes left. If you're still here, smash that bloody like button before you run away on me. Oh, I'm going to be here for a little bit longer, so don't run away on me yet. And if you've got a question, ask it now or forever hold your peace. What happened to Average Joe? He hasn't put a video out for a long time. Average Joe has had truck problems, and Average Joe has had a life. Like I've said this before, creating content is a time-consuming and a not financially viable option for a lot of us. So it makes it very difficult for him to commit too much time to it lately. And something, he went playing golf or some shit too. Playing golf and drinking beer. He'll be back onto it eventually. He'll be back. Joe produces a little bit of content, but it's high quality, so it's worth waiting for. In the meantime, you can put up with Pete's really impromptu live feeds. What are you crying for, dog? She's crying again. I made the mistake a few years ago. She come into the shed crying, or sooking, as we call her, because we call her sook. And I'd say, you want a tin? You want a tin? So she associated with crying with getting fed. Of course, that's a really big mistake, because now she walks in here 4 times a day and wants a treat or whatever else, and she will literally stand there for 3 hours crying until she gets what she wants. And of course, I have to ignore her for several hours, otherwise she gets what she wants. It's like a child has me trained, and I thought it was supposed to be the opposite way around. You train dogs, not the dogs train the owners. What do we got? Hey Pete, missed quite a bit of this live stream, but I'm setting up to spot weld my 100p packs now. Awesome. Busy with work and home life. He put an update on his Patreon the other day. Awesome. I am not a patron of anybody, unfortunately. Well, no, fortunately, because I don't have the spare cash to be a patron of anybody. But I have 10 Patreons. It's freaking awesome. $19 a month. Get in. You'd be surprised what $19 a month does. Because you buy lots of little Pharrells and things like that. It pays for lots of little things, so I do appreciate it. I am done. Look at this mess. All these ends. I keep getting asked why I'm taking all these bits off. And it's because I want, because some of them come off anyway, right? But I want a consistent sized pack. And this is like, what, 0.5 millimeter? So, and I want the strongest possible cells that I can build. And the way you get the strongest build is to have the most consistent length of cells. So this will make them all the same length, because I'm going to add other insulator rings to them as well. So that's why I'm removing all these little paper rings. They don't offer very much protection anyway, because they are only paper. Sticky paper at that, all stuck to my desk. I have to do more cleaning. You should see the floor. There's all these little rings all over it. Someone suggested I should get the rings and stick them all over the wall, but I think that'd make for a bloody mess rather than something reasonable. Rightio. How many cells? Someone's going to have to maths. Who is going to volunteer to math for me? We'll have to get this camera and we'll see how much we've got. It'll be upside down, but you can still see it. 8.1 kilos of cells. So 8.1 divided by, what is it, 4.3? Or something similar to that. And that is how many cells we have got done today. Someone tell me how many cells I've done so I can be really, really impressed with my effort. Let's Jubilees. I think it was Joe that started. Hey Pete, 100p pack. Joe, is the shipping container still on the horizon? Absolutely, it's on the distance horizon, but it's still there. I think I'll get away with either paying a fee. I was talking to someone the other day, and they said if you pay a fee to the council, you can have one. It's like a couple of $100 a year, which is ridiculous, but it's cheaper than insurance, right? And it might move the conversation, so at least I can have one. But the other option is too, I get a 10-foot container and just try and hide it somehow. Like you can make it look like a shed. Just, you know, put a lean-to up over the top of it. And because they use Google Maps to find that sort of stuff, or Near Maps or something like that. And they just overlay it and they can see who's got an illegal building permit or whatever else thanks to satellite technology. What is shipping container, shipping too many council restrictions? Are you still building 80p packs or you've moved to a 40p pack? Quite the opposite. I've moved. The next packs I'm building are 200p packs. There is no way I would do 80p packs again. It's bigger packs. 40p packs are insane. But bigger packs, 200p packs, they'll fit in my mounts, and they should, with a little bit of, I might have to do, put a board along the bottom to reinforce it, but they should work fine. Smaller packs are more expensive to manage, battery management system, and they are harder to keep balanced. The bigger the pack, the easier they are to balance. 19 a month, and I'm 5 of that. Awesome, thank you very much, Jag100. I lost somebody was another $5, and they cut it off last week. But that's fine, because people come and go, and I do appreciate every cent. Colin and Con, all the time it takes for you to make it. Thank you very much. I do appreciate all my things, even though for the longest time I ignored it even existed. I just accepted the money blindly, but it was only like $10. I think I need to do more to sort of be grateful for that sort of thing. What, you don't have a multi-clock setup, Pete, like Kirby? I have a multi-clock here. I have a few people here that I know the time of, so I know where they are. What time it is in their world. Off-grid cry. See you later. Off-grid wannabe. See you later. Thank you. 8.3 close to 190 cells, I guess. That'll do. I will take that. Wood cladding on the outside, or stick fake wheels on it, so then it's a trailer. Now there's a guy worth following. Andy Kirby. I'll copy that because I need some more YouTube content. What does it 200p pack look like? Okay, so this is 106. This is 150. Okay, that's my neatness. So that has got bus bar on it. So that's 156. Is that 156? 157. So that's an 80p pack. So that's basically two of them side by side. That's the what is it? 5 by 4 cell holders. What I'm going to do next is, this is 2 5 by 4 cell holders. What I'm doing next time is I'm changing it around, so I've got so that is 10 wide. So I'm going to go, you can hardly see it. So I'll go that big. So it's an extra 2 cells. So that'll be almost a 200p pack. So that'll go there, there, and then one more for the bottom. So there'll be 5 this way, 5 cell holders this way, and then 2 wide. So that's the new way forward. 200p packs, and that's as big as I can possibly go with this setup. Well, with my racks. I think even at 200p I'm going to be pushing it, but I'm still going to do it anyway. Right, tubers. Oh, Mark Phillips, thank you very much for the $4. I appreciate that, my friend. I removed the panel on the PIP inverter and put them on an Outback controller. Problem solved. Yeah, all that, I separate the charger anyway, but Kirby is great. He makes a nice combination of projects and theory. Woohoo, dug up backyard today so I can run natural gas Sonics. I can heat my garage and batteries. Awesome. I see what you did there. You gave me $4 and then you said boobs anyway. Well played. It's only uncomfortable sitting on A60 cells if they are fully charged or standing on their end. The cell holders, how easy is it to maintain the packs, like replacing a cell? It's very simple. With the cell holder, so that is my cell holder. You grab a pack. Oh wow. No wait. You grab a pack and you simply slide it in. So it's just a little bit simple to maintain and to change stuff around. So this is the 80p pack. You slide it in and it sits down and it's done. So it's very easy to maintain. I almost always keep spare packs laying around, so I can just, if I have a bad pack or anything, I can just move stuff around and replace it out. So, and this here serves as a backup as well, because I can just take one out of that if I need to get my my house battery back up and running again. So there you go, and that's the rack. And the rack has little tiny little kick up on the bottom, just so the pack doesn't fall off. Plenty of mounting screw holes on the back. It's not bad. Probably if it was a millimetre thicker steel, it might be better for the bigger packs, but I'll be able to work something out. Tommy Richards, dudes, what are you making? I am making batteries that power my entire house from laptops. Old laptop batteries, in fact. They can divert the waste balancing to charge other 8060 cells. Battery. Can they divert the waste balancing to charge other 8060 cells? No. I think that would create, like, as soon as, yeah, no, the answer is no. Got to go to sleep. 1977. Thank you very much. Need to work on pinball machine tomorrow. For now, everyone. Thanks for the Netherlands. Thank you very much. I'll see you later. What are you making? Answered that. Nice chat, Pete's here. Yes, Dylan C. Admin at DIYPowerwalls.com. That's insane. I absolutely agree. Can't agree with you more. What about replacing individual 1860 cells? How faded and maintain the pack? It's really easy. You go through with the Pro Snippy tools, you cut all the fuses, then you can measure all the voltages, and anything that is higher or lower has a problem and or has disconnected somehow. You just literally you break the 4 little tiny clips off, which you are never going to be able to see, but I'll show you anyway. When the cell sits in there like that, I wonder if the other camera is better for this. When the cell sits in there, it's got the 4 clips. You can just see it. You basically just break those clips off, and then you can just push the cell through the pack and out, and then you just replace it out, solder your new fuses in, and away you go. It really doesn't take that long at all. Gotta go. Happy weekend. See you, mate. Andy Lee Robson, secondlifestorage.com. Join secondlifestorage.com. That is also awesome. You're awesome. I absolutely agree. My wife doesn't, however. Where can I buy that cell pack holder? The Smooth Goat. I supply everything's for free. Have a look below in the description to the forum. Go to left screen. Buy my t-shirt. Buy my t-shirt over here. Teespring 18650 T hashtag 18650. Buy today. Use the keyword 18650. Get 5% off. I make about $2.20 on a t-shirt sale, or something like that. Anyway, new tab. Go to forum, and then go there. Go to DIY battery projects builds. Go to HP Powerwall official, and then you go down to here. Now these ones are a little bit wrong. You have to modify the file because they bent it over too far down the bottom here. For some reason they put a 90-degree bend rather than like a 20-degree bend on the file, but you just have to have that modified. But all of the files, there are high resolution pictures. I will copy that link and paste that link over here. Control V, enter. Everything there is for my mounts. You can click on this here and have a look at all the drawings and dimensions. If you click on zoom up here, I don't know if you can see my mouse, it gives you a huge picture of it. Thank you very much, Mike Nacko, for sorting this out for me with all dimensions and everything like that. And that is all for free on my forum. Of course, you can also donate some cash if you use those files. But then there's high resolution photos of how it all sets up, so you know how it all works. So there you go. For the cell holders, did you want to include bulkhead separation so there's a fire in one cell? Like the other only? You could do that, absolutely. I did consider that in the very early days. However, I never worked out how to incorporate it and make it look good. Now, I know this is not really a consideration, but that was a consideration back in the day because I wanted it to look good. So therefore I didn't. There are some people out there have got a piece of board that fits very well in between. There's a 2 centimeter gap, I believe, in between the cells. Don't have a tape measure here to measure it. But you can get a piece of board and slide it in between. The one problem with that is the person that did that had broken a couple of fuses a couple of times sliding it in there. So you've got to, if you're going to do that, you have to plan for it. How long have you been an electricity guru? I haven't, I'm not, and it will be a while before I am. I'm off ski, gonna late, depending on where you are. Good morning, Steve Chester. Thanks, D-Tech. With your shipping container, you could try and hide it from the council. Yeah, but burying it would just make yeah, that's a lot of effort. Bye, guys. No, council will know one way or the other. Somebody will somebody will look at YouTube and put a dob me in. How's everyone? Hope you enjoy the weekend. Tommy Richards, cry tomorrow, and I am caught up, so I am going. Thank you very much for tuning in. Smash the out of that like button, ladies and gentlemen. And wait a minute. We're still looking at that. And smash the out of that like button, and I'll see you on the next one. Why doesn't someone remind me that I'm still talking away and haven't changed the camera angle? These guys are slack. Mark Andrews, good night all. It's been an interesting chat. Thank you very much for joining in, Mark. And I am going to go and start my weekend. It is 8:24 a.m. in Brisbane, Australia. And I'll see you on the next one. All right, how do I turn this off? Start replay, end stream. I'll use the end stream. It takes Pete too long to read. The damn lag. I'm out. See you.